Who remembers this thing? Do you remember this? I don't know, it must have been 2-3 months ago, maybe longer. I showed this thing, and I said I was going to review it, and I never did, and people kept asking me about it, and I'm showing you now. So, yes, I've been using this on and off. The specific purpose for this multi-tool, and that's what I'm going to call this a multi-tool review, because even though there's a knife in here, a dedicated knife, I'm going to explain this system, because it's a multi-tool system. This is from Columbia River Knife and Tool, and it's called the Flux. And I had gotten this Flux together. Basically, it was the 3-piece kit. Came in one of this packaging thing, which I'll show you this because I think it was a pretty cool package. But basically, this kit was like 30 bucks. And it was the 3 pieces. It was the dedicated knife, the dedicated bit set, you know, the hex bit set, slash flashlight, there's a little flashlight on there as well, and the carabiner, I don't know what you call that, just the kind of spine of the whole thing. It's basically what your tools are connected to. It's a rail system is what it is. And they sell all these things individually, and they have other tools besides the knife and the bit kit. They sell a USB driver, which I really want. That's what when I got this, I had full intentions of eventually getting the USB drive part for this kit. In addition to that, they also have like a wind tool, and I think there's something else as well. But anyway, as you can see, this is what it is these individual tools, and in the future they may come out with more of them. And there's a rail system. Okay, you can see the rail, or the void in the back of this tool, and obviously there's a rail here, so they match up, they go together. This slides down. You can see this piece of spring steel here as this rides to the bottom. You can see how there's a notch taken out of here, just like that. So this piece of spring has constant pressure upwards because it's bent like that specifically, and as this rides down, it pops up and locks it, prevents it from moving forward. All right, in addition, you can see that there's a space cut out of the bottom here, and that little nub on the bottom also matches up perfectly by no coincidence, and keeps it from wiggling or moving, making any noise. It's completely silent. It's very, very sturdy. I mean, it's really on there. There's no way you're gonna get that off. And you can see this one has a dual thing where you can, there's a carabiner on both sides. All right, so you can clip this either way you want. They also have this kit basically with just the one carabiner. So basically, it would look like this. All right, the rail system is just one. It's not meant for 2 tools. So if you just want the carabiner, say on one of your tools, and you can carry it like that. But I thought this was really interesting when I first saw it. I'm totally into gadgets, and this would specifically be classified as a very cool gadget. It's functional, but if you were to take this off and I would just review this knife, I would say this knife is just, honestly, it's not that great. It's just, it's a crappy, cheap little knife. No big deal. It's got a cool looking blade. It's kind of a, scimitar type look to it. But it's so-so, no big deal. So the knife itself, I'm doing a knife review, don't bother. But it's not a knife review, it's a multi-tool review. And as a multi-tool and a system, I think it's awesome. It definitely has that fun, cool gadget factor. And I'm totally into it. I love gadgets, but it's functional, all right? The knife itself, although it's not the most appealing knife in the world and just kind of so-so, it's still functional. It's sharp. It has its issues, which I'll talk about right now. One is the lockup. The lockup on this knife is you have to, it's a liner lock as you can see, but you see it's not engaged. Okay, you have to extend that completely to engage it. So if you open this knife slowly, it doesn't lock. All right. But if you open it with a little bit of authority, or just, a little bit faster, it locks just fine. In fact, it has a beautiful, solid lockup. But that's not something I prefer. I want to be able to open a knife, even if I open it really slowly, I want it to lock. And this just doesn't, which kind of stinks. And it locked up a little bit more. But generally speaking, like I said, if you open it slowly, it will not engage completely and lock. All right, so that means it will fold, and you know, not good. But the knife itself, like I said, I mean, if you were to open this and you're conscious of that, now it locks up fine. It's still a very usable blade. It's very sharp, you know, out of the box when it's brand new. Steel is not listed. Steel type is basically unknown at this point. Not a huge deal. The texturing on here, it's more for looks. It's overall kind of a cool thing going on here. As far as function, it's comfortable. It's not that it's not really a problem at all. The knife itself with the pocket clip, it's not that great to carry. It's a very stiff clip, and with all this ridging and stuff in here and the cutouts, it's difficult to remove from your pocket. So like I said, if this was just a knife review, it would be like, don't waste your time, you know. But as the knife portion of a bigger picture, a modular tool system, it ain't bad. It really isn't. It's actually pretty cool. Now this specific set that I got, here's the packaging that came with it. You can see it's called the Flux, and this one had the knife and the hex driver. Okay, and what I liked about this, I don't necessarily like this type of packaging at all, but this is pretty cool. You open it up, the little Velcro keeps it closed. They go over all the different tools. You can see you have the knife, there's a hex driver, which I obviously have, the wind tool, there's a dedicated flashlight, which has the two 5mm LEDs in it. Then you have a 2 GB flash drive, which this is what I eventually want. I want the combination, because I don't need the knife, all right? I have knives, much better knives than this, even, you know, CRKT knives that are better than that. I don't want that. I want the combo bit driver, as well as the flash drive. That's what I want, and I want to use it just like this with a, you know, a regular carabiner, or, you know, a middle section, maybe like a split ring, and then put that on a bag. All right, specifically my bicycle, because I've been using the screwdriver set for my bicycle because I don't have the most expensive bike, and things do get loose on it, so I do have to tighten it up occasionally. And I don't always carry my larger multi-tools. I always have my little Leatherman P4 Squirt on me, but it's still nice to have this dedicated tool, and I'll show you one reason why. But anyway, you know, nice. I thought the packaging was pretty good. It explains everything you'd want to know about it, so that's good. They also have the specs on here on the back. As far as the knife, 2¼ inch blade. You can see it all here. I don't have to read it, but handle length 3.35 inches, and open length 5.5. Weight 1.8 ounces. As far as the driver, 1 Phillips, 2 flat. You have a large and small flat bit. Pretty much, I mean, it's identical handle length, because obviously you can see the tools are the same size and everything. The weight is a little bit less on the bit set, 1.4 ounces, and the LED runs on 2 CR927 batteries. So anyway, yeah, I kept the packaging for you guys. I cut it out nice and neat so you could see what it is. This is how you'd get this set. But like I said, you can buy the individual tools separately a lot cheaper. That was 30 bucks, and I got 3 pieces. I got the main, I guess you call it the chassis, or the body of it, which is basically the carabiner rail system, and then the 2 individual tools. So I talked about the knife a little bit. Yeah, nothing special. It has its issues. Doesn't lock up easily, which is not good. I thought this would be an issue. The spring, the piece that locks this in, but in holding the knife and using the knife, it doesn't get in the way at all. It's really not a big deal whatsoever. Thumb disc, it works just fine. Like I said, as long as that thing locks up when you open it, the knife's fine. It's not terribly uncomfortable. I just wouldn't carry it by itself with this pocket clip. It's not so great. But the other tool, the bit set, which I really like, and like I said, this is what I'm most interested in right now, and eventually getting that flash drive for this side, which looks pretty cool. But the bit set is very functional. I've used it at least 5 or 6 times now. And basically, I mean, it has the built-in little flashlight. It's a standard 5mm LED flashlight. It'll certainly be enough light to do small tasks up close, you know, but I always carry a dedicated flashlight in my pocket anyway. But it's nice to have an additional flashlight at all times. Besides that, you have your 3 bits here. All right, these are very easy to get to. Just with your thumbnail, you just kind of push on the base of it. All right, and you'll see that there's a little ridge. It pops up. You can use your fingernail. Now, I don't have fingernails. They're not long or anything, but you can see I can still get my nail into there enough to pop the bit out. And there's 2 spots. You can put it on the end. All right, so you have the length you need. This is the smaller flathead. Okay, you can use like a regular screwdriver. But what I like about this is that there's also a spot on the side which gives you like a T-handle. Okay, this really allows you to get more torque, okay, when trying to crank something down. With the smaller bit, not so much, because smaller screws you don't need that much pressure usually. And by the way, when you put these bits back in, here, see if you can hear this. No, it didn't do it. It's gonna make me a liar now. I was gonna say that they oh, there we go. They almost click in. Can you hear that? And it feels like they're magnetized, but the only thing I can imagine would be on the base here. I can't see anything. And that ridge, there's nothing protruding on the inside that clicks into that ridge or anything, but they do. They're very secure in there. You can hear them moving around a little bit, right? A little bit of a rattle, but even in shaking this really, really hard, they don't want to fall out. So that's a good thing. So let me put my little nail in there, pop that out. Okay, so here's a larger flathead. This would make more sense. But you use it like the T-latch here, or excuse me, thinking battle songs. If you use it like a T-handle like this, you can really use a lot more torque and really crank down on those stubborn screws. So I have used that one time specifically on a door hinge screw, which I just happened to see was loose and was really stubborn. Yeah, I could have grabbed a normal size screwdriver and that would make more sense, but happened to have this. This is when I came inside. I had my backpack on. I was doing a little bike ride because summer is approaching, and the warmer it gets, the nicer it is. And of course, I want to spend time exercising. And of course, right now I don't have a car still, so my bicycle is my transportation. So I'm relying on it. So tools like this are important to me. Anyway, long story short, oh, it's too late. I just happened to notice that the screw was sticking out a little bit. So I had this clipped in my bag, pulled it off, figured out it's a good time to test it and everything. I originally put the bit in on the end, and I'm trying to turn it, and I just couldn't get a good enough grip on it because it was really heavy. It was struggling pushing in, and I just used the T handle, and I was able to really kind of crank down on it, and it gave me more leverage. So very useful. So I really like this tool. It's pretty cool. There's definitely a novelty factor to this. It's just one of those fun, cool things. Like I said, I'm guilty of being a gadget guy. I happen to love my gadgets, and this is no different. This is a very cool gadget, but still very functional. And for 30 bucks, you get 2 dedicated tools here, and of course the little, you know, the body portion of it, so you can add more if you wanted to. Honestly, I think if you were to get one tool, I would just keep it as the tool and buy a little carabiner and put the carabiner on this, you know, through the lanyard hole. Because all the tools have these, they're individual dedicated lanyard holes on here. So I don't really see a specific need for the single chassis, which I know they do offer. All right, they offer this piece, but it's just one side, just for one tool. So like I said, instead of having this carabiner type carry option, I would just go get, you know, 25-cent one from the store, the hardware store, and just pop it right in your lanyard hole. Just my little suggestion for me to you. But I still think this is an awesome little system, and in use it's proved to be strong enough, at least what I've put it through thus far, and it's fun to play with. Honestly, just taking the monitor off, there's no shame in that. I have fun playing with it. I did try carrying this once together as a system in the pocket, and like I said, this pocket clip, it stinks because it's too tight and these ridges are too deep for a comfortable, easy access without tearing up your jeans. Which is a shame because this whole system like this fits in the pocket beautifully. Even though it's wider like this, I mean, it fits in there just awesome. As long as you don't have anything in your pocket you need to get to. Fits great, just, you know, clip's not the best. But anyway, that's pretty much it. It's a fun little system. And like I said, eventually I will take the knife off and I will get the memory card and you know, the USB reader. And I'll put that on here, and this will be my very useful little kit. Something I've been trying to do lately is I'm trying to keep, and you're going to see this in my EDC videos, is I'm trying to keep a lot of health information, and not so much just health, but just general information about me, my name, my address, all that kind of stuff on a memory card, and keep that as part of my EDC. I got a very cool USB bracelet from Lewis, I Spy, here on YouTube, and it got me really thinking about keeping important information on you at all times. So God forbid, who knows, I pass out and die somewhere, Not that that's very likely, but even if I pass out and like someone finds me, or if I get hit by a car or something, who knows what's going to happen, you know? But I'm rushed to the hospital and for some reason I don't have ID on me or I don't have the right information. It's just good to have all that info on a USB. You know, we live in an age of technology, and you know, this is something, we all have computers, we all have the capability of getting information from these, and pretty much everyone knows what that is. So if you happen to be in an emergency situation like that, you're rushed to ER, and you know, someone is going through your stuff trying to find ID, they find that, of course they're going to look at it and they're going to find everything they need to know. So contact information, emergency numbers, stuff like that. It'd just be good to have on you. So I'm going to try to incorporate that into my EDC stuff in the future. But anyway, that's it. Just want to do a review on this CRKT Flux. I think it's a great little system, and it's still affordable. It's not ridiculous. I mean, I'd love to say, yeah, tweak this, make this a little better. I'd like a better knife on this. I'd like maybe more tools. You know, give me like a, you know, I don't know, a really nice LED flashlight in here. You know, bump up the power on that. You know, give me a Cree LED, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, then we're talking about a $100, $150 tool. It is what it is. You know, some of it seems a little cheap. It is cheap. It's cheap to buy. Everything's relevant. You can always, you know, pick something apart and say, this should be better, this should be better. They could make it better. They have full capabilities. But the question is, where's the market? Who is going to buy that $150 tool that looks just like this? It's just, you can appreciate it, but the average person can't. They would not know the difference. It's something we tend to forget sometimes, is the industry, the knife industry in general, multi-tools, all that kind of stuff, they have to appeal to the masses. This is the kind of stuff that the masses will look at, enjoy, buy, use, love. You know, it's not just us and our picky needs and wants, you know? But anyway, that's all. Just wanted to do a review on it. So thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate your time as always, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Take it easy.